Hey guys, it's your girl Londyn, and today I'm bringing you part 1 of my eyeshadow palette declutter video. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of all my new videos. And if you haven't already for whatever reason, head on over to Instagram and follow me at Londyn Brielle so you can see what I do when I'm not here on the YouTubes. So if you want to see what eyeshadow palettes I'm getting rid of in part 1, then go ahead and keep watching because you're about to find out. Okie dokie artichokes. So I have been going through my eyeshadow palettes. I have been putting them on Excel sheets. I've been putting stickers on the back of them. I'm getting all kinds of organized. Like, who is she? I don't know. What I have found out is that my number right now is disturbingly close to 250 palettes, and I'm not even done. And I have new palettes that came in from ColourPop today, and I'm realizing that perhaps this is a problem. So what I did as I went through my eyeshadow palettes is I went ahead and just took out ones that I automatically knew maybe were a bit old. So either they needed to see the trash bin or I knew I wasn't going to use them. They had color stories that I didn't particularly care for. They had color stories that I know I had in other palettes that I actually really loved, or I knew that I just didn't like the formulation of the palette to begin with. So all these palettes are spoken for, so please don't request any in the comment section down below. They are either going to a women's shelter if they have not been opened, they are going to the trash bin if they are too old, or they will be sanitized and they will be given to my sister for her and her law school friends to go through and see if there's anything they might want, because law school is a little pricey. I don't know if you guys know, so if there's anything that they can save on, then I like to be able to give that to them. And if it is, you know, makeup and skincare, then hey, let me help the future lawyers of America where I can help them at. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. So the first palette we have is from Makeup Revolution, and this is Fierce as a Fire. So this came from Ulta, and this was free with purchase. I think it was free with the Emily Noel palette, and I was going to open it up, but I actually think, oh no, I did. I undid the thing, but I've never used this, so I haven't swatched this, I haven't used it, I haven't anythinged with it. The only thing I did do was take the sticker off of it, but I haven't used this at all. This is a beautiful color story. There's a lot of shimmers. There appears to be maybe 4 mattes in it, but I just have this color story in so many of my other palettes, so I want to go ahead and, you know, let my sister and one of her friends kind of go through it and see if maybe they might not want it. The next one I have is, and by the way, I think I'm going to try to put like a counter somewhere on here so that way we can just kind of get an overall visual of how many palettes in part 1 and part 2 that we are kind of exiting from our collection. Is Winky Lux, and this is the Kitten palette, and this came in a BoxyCharm box. The thing with this is I have 2, so I did keep one. And this is the one that I have not used. So I have not touched this at all. I haven't swatched this. I haven't used it. I have one already that I have used. And I do like it. I think the color story is nice. It's neutral. And instead of a pop of blue, it has kind of like this bluish gray in the center. So I think that this is nice for someone who maybe wants a smoky look, a neutral look, or kind of a pop of something right there in the center. So I am also going to be giving this to my sister and her friends to see if they would like it. The next palette I have is the Wonder Beauty Wondrous Seascape palette. So this, I think, might have also come in a BoxyCharm. I'm not quite sure. This is still inside the package. I'm opening it right now, so I hadn't even taken it out of the package yet. This is what it looks like outside of the unicarton. I absolutely love this very beachy vibe because we are going to no beaches this year. This has the little cover on it. I did swatch this, so I can't give it to a shelter. You can see I did go ahead and I swatched the colors to see if I would like them. They are beautiful. The shimmers were absolutely gorgeous, but again, this color story I have over and over and over and over again in my collection, and so I just don't think that I need to keep shadows when I already have the exact kind of color variation in other palettes that I'm actively using. I don't think that there's necessarily a point to kind of keep this one there. So I am also going to, oh, so difficult trying to put this back inside the box, going to give this to my sister and her friends and kind of see if maybe one of them can get some better use out of it. The next one I have is the original Too Faced Cosmetics Neutral Eyes. Now these are when they were in little ASMR. When they were originally in the Tim palettes. This is such a fantastic color story. This is a neutral lover's dream. I remember when these were all the rage. They are just amazingly fantastical. It still has the kind of little booklet came in the inside that gives you look options in case you're not quite sure what to do with it. But this is very nice. This was a very nice formula, especially for the time. But again, to be quite honest with you guys, I just have way too many eyeshadows that have similar looks. I'm just kind of cleaning up the outside a bit. So this is, you know, definitely a bit older, so it doesn't smell weird or anything like that. So this is going to be in the pile where I'm probably going to toss it and get rid of it. However, it's not that old as far as I didn't buy it when it originally came out, but I did buy it clearly before they changed the packaging to it. So we're going to set this aside to give this a little tossy toss. The next thing I have is another Too Faced Cosmetics. Oh, I just had one drop. Oh my gosh, I'm going to pick that up. And this is the Rock and Roll palette. I love this freaking cover. Like, that is the reason why I got this. The shadow, the color stories on the inside, I was never going to use. But I got this for this cover. I loved these tin compacts, and I just absolutely... One of the shadows just came out. Hold on one second, guys, because I have a palette that fell and a shadow that just popped up. I will be right back. Hold, please. Woo! Okay, guys. My, oh my. Alright, so this one came right out of this. So let me make sure I kind of hold it like this. So that one popped right out. So this is a, actually, you know what? It doesn't have the mirror shown. So this has a beautiful color story, but it just isn't a color story for me, especially at the time that I got it. It's just a bit too deep, a bit too smoky. Like, if you love smoky looks, this is for you. As you can see, like, I barely touched these ones. I tried to use them like in individual looks, and they were just too smoky for me. It still does have the little card to let you know what kind of looks you can do. This, I'll have to make sure I let them know that could kind of pop out, but the Rock and Roll palette just wasn't for me. The next one I have is a Too Faced Cat Eyes Fiercely Feminine Eyeshadow Collection. This, again, these packagings were some of the best I think that Too Faced has ever done. They were compact, they were beautiful. This is the color story. Again, very beautiful, very smoky. You can use a lot of these as liners. Still has the card to give you some ideas. But just like the Rock and Roll palette, this color story was just a bit too deep for me. And the blue and purple that I really like in it, I have that shade, those two shades in other palettes already, so there's no need to keep this whole thing. I only ever swatched this copper color and this purple color. That was it. The next set of shadows I have are the Maybelline The Smokes. Does anybody remember when these were highly popular and coveted? These were supposed to be the answer to drugstore eyeshadows. They had a good color story. They were supposed to be a good formula. However, one, as I've just told you in those other ones, I don't even do that kind of smoky eye like that all the time. Like that is not my life. That is not my path. That is not who I am. Yet here I am, find a doggone smoky palette. Why? I don't know. The interwebs. This is the color story. So this is a really nice color story. I never used it, ever. But this is really, really nice. I think that somebody who likes to kind of have a smoky eye will definitely love and enjoy this in ways that I clearly did not, because I don't like smoky eyes, but then yet here I buy entire palettes for smoky eyes. So yeah. The one that I did like was the Blush Nudes by Maybelline. This was gorgeous. So I think these were supposed to be answers to the Urban Decay Naked palettes. This was a gorgeous color story. The problem with this was I only used a couple shades in here, was that the formulation of these were not pigmented enough to really stand out on my skin color. This is something that will probably be more suited for my sister, who doesn't wear a ton of makeup but likes to have kind of like light, bright, kind of rosy, peachy colors when she does. My sister is a bit more fair complected than me. She's more like a Mariah Carey's complexion, so these would show up on her, but these had a really hard time complementing my skin tone, so it just wasn't for me with those. The next one I have is one that I created myself, and it just has a couple shadows in here. So these were all shadows from, I believe, Makeup Geek, back before they did the rebrand. So I had a couple single shadows. This is when I thought I was into singles. I soon found out that I was not into singles, that if they weren't in a palette already done or a full palette of singles, that I wasn't going to use them, and that's pretty much what happened with these. They were beautiful colors, but I just didn't get enough use out of them because they were single shadows. And now in my collection, again, this was at the beginning of when I first started doing makeup. Now in my collection, I have these colors over and over again, so I can't get the use out of those that I would like to. The next palette is the Juvia's Place Nubian 2. I know. You're saying, why are you getting rid of that? Well, I'm getting rid of this because in my fierce haste of purchasing products, because clearly I do, I bought 2 of these. I don't know why. So when I was going through my collection, I realized I had 2. And that small piece of you says, keep the 2 because you paid for it. And another piece says, do you see these pans? Girl, there's no way you're gonna even go through the first one, let alone a second one. So I want to go ahead and pass this one along, you know, to somebody who can get some better use out of it, because I already have one, and I'm certainly not in this lifetime or the next going to be able to go through 2 full Juvia's Place palettes. Juvia's Place palettes, though, are so pigmented. They're gorgeous, they're beautiful, and they are meant to really work on a person who has a little bit more melanated skin tone. So I definitely think that that is going to be well loved somewhere else. The next palette I have is Moods by Laura Sanchez. I think that this came in a BoxyCharm. I did not use this at all. This is actually the Unicarton. This is the palette itself. So I think that it's super cute, super like adorable with the packaging. I thought the color story inside, it's actually taped on. The color story inside is very cute. You even have these 2 kind of like highlighters or brow bone shade colors. Very nice color story, but the problem is, again, it's very big, and I already have these shadows. So for me, the packaging is a bit too big. I'll never use the brush, and these shadows I have, I mean, we just looked at the Juvia's Place palette. I have these shadow colors over and over again. So for me, it's just not something that I need to go ahead and keep in my collection. The next palette I have is Pure's Midnight Masquerade Face Palette. So we do have some shadow palettes, and then I think we may have 1 or 2 or 3 face palettes in these collections, but they're powder products, so we're going to go ahead and go with it. This is what it looks like outside the Unicarton. Now, Raw Beauty Christie's new palette, I'm loving, but Pure, I really didn't get along with their formula, and so I just said, just go ahead and hand it off to somebody else. This does still have the plastic over it because I've never used it. So this is the face side, and this is the shadow side. So maybe I should turn it this way so with the mirror. So the shadows look beautiful, the face colors look beautiful, but 1, again, I have the colors already in my collection. 2, I already know that this type of Pure formula I really didn't care for, so why use it just to find out what I already know? Instead, somebody else can get some use out of that. The next palette is from the Storybook Cosmetics, and this is Fairy Tales. This also came in a BoxyCharm. I loved these. I thought they were adorable. I am a reader. If you didn't know, let me give you a little tidbit. I used to be a sole young adult book reviewer for several years here on YouTube, probably 3, and for about 10 years in the blog world. So I was solely dedicated to that, so I absolutely love books. I thought this was just an ingenious idea. However, when you're trying to store them, they're very, very bulky, and the colors inside, although gorgeous and beautiful, Storybook Cosmetics did have a bit of a little thing with BoxyCharm, and I just said, you know what, again, this color story I already have, and although I think it's beautiful, I really don't have any place to store it. It takes up a lot of room, and I just likely would not ever use it. I swatched 2 colors. I thought the formula felt fine, but for me, I'm just not going to use it. So again, why keep it just because? There's no need for that. The next one, you guys will all know why I'm getting rid of this. This is Kat Von D's Serpentina palette. Gorgeous, gorgeous packaging. Kat Von D has always been grade A with packaging. The color story is uniquely beautiful. Now, at the time that I got this, I had just gotten into makeup, so I didn't know what to do with these colors. I didn't know how to place them. I didn't know how to match them. So I already was a bit lost with that. And then, although I had other Kat Von D palettes, this one just didn't seem to have the same consistency and formula as her previous ones. So it was very difficult for me to blend. I never even used this one because at the time I didn't know what to do with the loose shadow. I didn't know how to use it. So this shadow set for me, I used it about 2 or 3 times. It just didn't work for me overall. And maybe someone will want to collect it. Maybe somebody will want to give it a go, but it just wasn't for me. The next 3 are the revealed palettes. So we have the revealed 1, the revealed 2, and the revealed 3. I believe that these all came in BoxyCharms when BoxyCharm was still fairly new. So these are by Coastal Scents. I think these are supposed to be the drugstore answer to the Naked palettes. So this is revealed 1. These are gorgeous toned shades, and I use this because I actually use some of the darker ones. These were beautiful. These are very much so quick, easy to blend, gotta go to work, not trying to do no fuss, no muss, not trying to wait all day, trying to blend out no pigment. Awesome colors, beautiful color story. You know what to pick, put it on, go, you're on your way. The problem is, and the reason why I've kept them for so long, was that now I have shadows that are like this already and other formulas that I prefer. But at the time I didn't, which is why I kept them and I loved them and I adored them. But now it's time to go ahead and let somebody else enjoy them the way that I have enjoyed them. The Revealed 2, oh, this was a dream. Revealed 2 was just gorgeous. Revealed 2 is just, ugh. If I wanted to be selfish, I would keep these palettes because I actually really love these color stories. But I'm not going to. Just these beautiful pinky, mauvey, goldy tones. They're just so nice. And I did get some use out of them. Like this is one of my favorites. That was one of my favorites. But again, this needs to go to a new home that can love it and can adore it. Because for me, I've gotten my use out of it. And I already have palettes that have that same color story. So it's selfish of me to keep it. The one that I didn't use was Revealed 3. And as you can see again, they all kind of mimic each other. Like the Revealed 3 and 2 and 1 all kind of have the same color story, but one is like lighter, mid-tone, and then deeper. So this was gorgeous. I did swatch this shade. Beautiful color story again, beautiful tones. These are really good. So if you were looking for kind of a color story answer to the Naked palettes, the revealed ones were actually very good quality for quote-unquote drugstore or affordable priced palettes. I'm not gonna knock the Coastal Scents. They were really good. The next palette I have is from Shani Cosmetics. I used to be on their PR list. I don't even know if they're around anymore. But this one was supposed to look like a tablet, and it was super cute. So you open it and it looked just like an iPad. You even have like the little home button, which is a white cream, and then you have all your shadows. So this was really nice. It kind of also reminded me of the Lorac Pro palettes. And I did use them. I used several shades and they were really nice, but again, I don't use palettes that are quite this big anymore, and I have these shades over and over and over. So this is to me somebody who is either newly getting into makeup or wants a lot of variety of shades without having to purchase several palettes, because this is nice to go ahead and travel with and carry around with you because it's one big case. So like this is the other side of the case. It even has this so you can put over it so it will kind of close in on itself, and you know, it will stay nice, closed and contained and won't come open. So this was a pretty good palette. I used it probably only once or twice. But let me go ahead and put this over so you guys can see. So this is what you do. So this is how the palette can stay closed, just like a tablet. Really liked it. I thought that it was a good formula, but at the same time, again, it's big, it's bulky for me, and I have those shades 10 times over, so I'm gonna go ahead and let somebody else have that, enjoy it, and love it. So I do not know where we are with the count. We are going to have to check that out. But that is the end of part 1. What do you guys think about that? Have you tried any of those shadows? Do you think I should have kept some? Do you think I should have, that I got rid of the right ones? Do you love any of the ones I got rid of? Did you ever want to try any of the ones that I got rid of? Kind of let me know in the comment section down below. And I'm going to go and I'm going to film part 2. So if you enjoyed part 1, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell because you want to make sure that you are the first one notified when part 2 comes out, so you can see what other palettes just didn't make the cut. So guys, thank you so much for spending time with me. I greatly appreciate it. I will love you and I will miss you, and I will see you guys in my next video. I love you guys. Bye.